So everyone on my YouTube channel, my name is Afal and they're ready to discuss with me. Now follow me, let's discuss. Today again, it's another day. Our musician, one artist goes by the name Jimmy B. Musician and Jimmy B, Godfather, Mr. B, I'm not so. But the Godfather, I don't make up your mind. He say wetin if they do, they undo things. Now you know they do that again. So you see, so now you don't gain life. If you see movie, if you see no, in a born again Christian now, if you see in a church where they talk, if you see a movie where they talk about wetin, give, I give your life to the service of God. If you see movie, but man not talk about can you hear from me much? Where they talk, see it's map na church, so they talk. He say don't give life so all una this they go to una the other artists them. Till today, now for giving a life, no one giving a life. So see that this, they ain't gonna make you not give life but some of una they no one giving a life up to now. So you know see Jimmy B, Godfather, and I don't repent. You don't give life to Christ, and now you say the hope with Christ. And this I see in a church. If you see where they dance to the glory of God. Anyway, man not talk about cool. Watch.
So, woman of substance, conviction, grace, class, and beauty. Our mother in the house, Lady Reverend Mrs. Irene Cole. Yes, that's a good place. Alright. And our most distinguished and beloved father in the Lord, Bishop J. Ashmore Cole. Yes, that's a good place too. I say thank you, Mommy and Daddy, for your guidance and love. May the grace of the Almighty God continue to be upon you. To members of the New Life Ministries, I say thank you for accepting me as a member of this wonderful family. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all in that wonderful name of our Father in heaven. I stand here this evening not to bore you with a lengthy speech, but to simply appreciate each and every one of you here present on behalf of myself, members of the planning committee, and the casting crew of GIVE. Guys, please stand up so that they can acknowledge you. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you all for your contribution. Thank you. Please take your seats. I would now like to thank all the members of the planning committee who have worked tirelessly to ensure the success of this event. Especially you, Mrs. Ernestine William Topper. Please give her a round of applause. And to my beautiful fiancée, Miss Maroni Bangura. Please give her a round of applause. I now want to say a special thank you to each and every one of you here present for honoring our invitation and for being a part of this experience. We are humbled and truly grateful that you all will take time out of your busy schedule to come share with us your love and support. Let me also acknowledge the presence of few friends whose love, respect, and appreciation for my craft over the years have never wavered. The Honorable Minister of Youth Affairs, Mr. Oman Bangura, please stand up. Stand up so we can acknowledge you. Thank you. Thank you. Also Dr. Richard Conte, who had to leave to attend to some emergency. We acknowledge his presence also, he was here earlier. To my sister, who I've known for more than 20 years, Dr. Celia Blyden. Please stand up so we can acknowledge you. To my brother, Mr. Yegini, who had to put this thing together. Please stand up so we can acknowledge you. My brother, Abu Kamara, please stand up. I am humbled. You know, when I made the conscious decision some time ago to give my life to Christ, I wasn't taken seriously. Would you have that man left the most? Who's kind of Lewe Ifabo. Truth is, because of my background, even I wouldn't have taken me seriously if I were them. But that's the beauty of the mystery of God. A note from one of Daddy's sermons a few weeks back. He said God has a way of doing things which is beyond human understanding. His ways are not our ways. We must never question God. Remember the story of Saul, who later became known as Paul, the great evangelist. What God cannot do doesn't exist. You see, I had very close friends who thought being a born again was a wrong move for my music or film career, as if following Christ was a business venture. Some boldly told me they preferred listening to love songs, party songs, or as we Christians call it, worldly music. I went through many challenges, many spiritual attacks, just to discourage me. You see, in spite of all the challenges I face as a believer, I will never relent. I am resolute in my heart and mind to never turn back, regardless. Thank you. Give, which is the title of my first full-length gospel album, and the title of the movie, I hope and pray both will make a positive impact in the lives of people. I wish for each and every one of us God's blessing and may His peace continue to be upon us all. Thank you. And I acknowledge you, CJ and wife. Thank you very much for your love and support. Thank you very much. Blessings.
You don't repent. You don't give it in false, gospel movie. But the title or all thing about, let me say, the movie about give your life. Sollywood, what is a Sollywood? Not also Sierra Leone movie. Sollywood, we are going. As we sister with the Ubanda, Chidima, in back repent. Church, direct now. So if this back don't repent, him back don't wait corner now. Maybe don't repent self from long. Maybe because in the accusation they will be the get with other them. Then I shall give them. I don't know if not true or waiting. Say just be the you understand, just the call no more. If in case you want me make music for you, track make film, in the it's like office will be get ready. See that office day, na father office day. But meanwhile, you don't get in life now. Everything is okay. You don't get in life. Today, be say today, they do undo things, but now they do waiting God wants. So listen to our way they talk, Say Jimmy B, I don't get in life. You don't try. He say you need to forgive your life. Give your life to Christ, to the service of God. So in service now for movie, gospel movie, yeah. So Christian will learn from the movie. So this country now one guy knows how they go. The Lord they don't make so far, and the country na poorly the poor no. The Lord they know they help. The Lord know they help. Na poor the Lord they help for poor. I will say so. They ask the one ACC boss into the boss. So when I want parent, I don't know if na the rating, the media personnel or whatsoever. I don't know. But the thing the way they talk, it don't make sense. Though it try for make sense, but you don't call all that thing there over the way they call so ACC now na repa. All that thing there they do so. When I before say later on they get for fight, they get for the against now. They go for fight against now. All that thing there, all when I make this is not it's grassroots, this, that, and this. Okay. Now continue. So you see, so they interview them. A day. One ACC man, there was one the whistleblower, there was Lamarana. Lamarana they ask question. Not for say they keep all the interview them. They interview them. Whether they come, particularly come, the interviewer, then they sabi talk. Yes. Then they interview. So like we don't explain. wetin Patrick talk and wetin talk. Now they in place Patrick say they no dey investigate the case there. Meanwhile, they don't make a press release for say they don't set up, let me say, task force, this, that, blah, 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 explain. Though, I continue. But, and now, a bad say, or a fat say, or a long say, but I almost left that position there. Now, I didn't believe. May they begin use and power now. That same tune they do with them, so may they begin use and power now. I'm not going to know. So, why not talk more on the video this? Watch and tell me what you think about this particular, because according to my brother, the whistleblower, Dr. John Lahai, he said this is not the way the ACC therefore don't do the team press release and they can check. No, you don't need for go and pass and check. Not to say they don't know, they know. Not to pass and check. These people have submitted this thing for a long time. They have been using it. Some people have promotion. Now you say you can't check. No, tell them that this thing you can be very called. Tell them that all those who know that they have no good paper or qualified paper that will show their credential, academic credential, please turn them down or come and submit them. I have to tell them that come and submit them. Simple. We give you 2 weeks or 1 month or 3 weeks to come and they see on Monday count Sam. Because we don't want to disgrace you publicly. So we want you to come with your paper or whatsoever you have with you. Your academic credential. Come with it. We want to see your certificate. We want to see it. Submit it. We give you a time. Because we want to take, you see, people when they expect, you see the count. No, you cannot get sensible. Watch the video and tell me what you think.
Contravention. But una don't cover section 1283 under certain way now na the press release. Say una don't put up a task force for investigate. That is like saying yes, we're going to investigate. We're going now like when you say you get Scorpion Squad, we don't send Scorpion Squad for go do certain things. That is what you're saying, but you're covering it like you are not. You don't want the public to think you're going to do it.
No. Nothing is being covered. Let's understand. When ACC they say we don't begin formal investigation, and when ACC interested in something, and now only on this university saga we don't see some sector of the public not look comfortable with when we are interested and when we are investigating. From the one, let's be clear that the allegation and I think they of interest to ACC. In fact, that's the reason why we have taken our precious time for the seek and do clarification on the issue here. Now, juxtapose to the audit report. I'm not giving time audit report not come on at this country, and the next day ACC does now investigation. In as much as the allegations were there inside every audit report, on the face of it, you go to now say now corruption. But anytime there's audit report, we they subject them to we own analysis.
But immediately at those times, you can come out with a statement, say yes, we know the audit report is out,
Thank you.
and we want to assure the public that we are going to investigate it. Even though say una go process and but the point I'm making is
yes,
una they give the public that assurance and confidence.
Thank you.
But that is what is missing in all of this. You will rather defending that it's not your threshold, enough fall within a threshold.
No, except if somebody want for take him that way.
Okay.
Here is the commissioner saying, and he was, because if you follow the social media comments, especially when names of individuals were mentioned, it was like, begin an investigation and get these people arrested. And he was like maintaining, until today we are like maintaining. Beginning an investigation, effecting an arrest can only be triggered where we have this reason. It is almost the same for every investigation process, except like when you mentioned Scorpion Squad raid, who say on the high, they meet people, there you arrest, there and then. Like audit report, it come on for a whole 2 weeks, we subject them to analysis.
Yeah. But to assure the public where it come on, say the audits don't come on. Exactly.
And on this matter too, I can remember vividly. I don't remember how many times we don't talk about every communication space we don't talk on behalf of the commission.
Okay,
we have given that assurance.
Okay, let me listen to Patrick Sandy, Director Patrick Sandy. Now we wake up Salion program. Let me listen to him. You can let me hear what he been say and what you they say now.
So as it is, we have said, within the Act, if you look at Part 4 of the Anti-Corruption Act of 2008 as amended in 2019, you have to look at a series of acts and how it would apply to this specific circumstance. So somebody who have attained a PhD, fake as it could be, after the person has been in employment, and then that is not a prerequisite, a criteria that has been set. Insofar the ACC is concerned, there is no corruption issue and nothing to investigate because he has not used that qualification to confer an advantage on himself or herself. And let us understand this, even when it comes to the aspect of determining what to investigate, you have to look at the offense and there are certain things you have to establish. Firstly, we call them the elements of the offense. To start with, if, for instance, you want to say somebody has misappropriated and the offense is any person, you firstly would determine if that person is any person. There are certain offenses within the Act that speaks to a public officer only. So before you start to investigate, that offense will not be committed by a person who is not a public officer. So you have to establish that one. And then you go to the aspect, is it a public fund? Those are the kinds of things we look at the ACC before we start or commence investigations. And so we do not just start by investigating because a member of the public says, let's investigate. The burden of proof is on the ACC. We are a responsible and professional institution, and therefore we firstly would have to make a determination whether that particular action or incident amounts to a corruption offense as it is in the Act. And we cannot just jump at investigating all sorts of things. There are institutions who have that responsibility to do and let them perform.
So in this, it doesn't meet that.
No, but exactly. I see people also say we should do prevention. Where do you prevent? What do you prevent? Prevention is about going into systems and processes, and you look at those systems that there are lapses, and you bring recommendations. In this instance, for instance, Dominion, there is a particular category where they fall. It was just an act of criminality, which we said the police should handle. But what system do you have to go and correct? The TEC is operating. They have come out clearly and said these people should not operate on this category. What is there for you to go and review? So these are the kinds of confusion we are getting from people who are writing all sorts of things. You only conduct a systems review, you make prevention work when you have identified within a particular system or structure that there are lapses, there are loopholes, and it's as a result of those that those corruption occurrences could have occurred.
Perhaps. So that's the point.
Yeah. So
even prevention, Mr. Patrick Sande was saying, you don't do prevention. In this press release, let's read them again. In a parallel appeal approach, the ACC has set up a task force comprising investigators and prevention officers to progressively do a credential integrity review for public officers with the mandate to look into employment, promotions of persons with the broad spectrum of the civil and public service.
Yeah.
So the point is, people were saying, people in the way go to use a document here for get employment. Una know aware until una investigate now una go know. People in the way go don't take an advantage for gain promotion. Una no go know until una investigate. But you were insisting that now the other institution for investigate, not una for investigate.
Okay. All right. So if you follow the position where the director take, till today that position not change.
Even at the document.
Markham. If you follow the trend of things that will don't happen. Initially, when the video came out, for me, I've been the eye-opener to the event. The two most prominent names that we've been surfaced have been the person of the Clerk of Parliament and the IG. And then we were required by some sector of the public to investigate. And at that time, we concluded at that time, based on what was available to us, that this not trigger a full-scale investigation. We go follow up on these issues and see what in are the corruption element in it. If you watch director in definition, possessing a fake degree is not corruption in the act.
Yeah, but if you use that degree,
so up till date, if you see all of those, that passage where you read now the press release, that is speaking directly, because after those initial engagements, the revelations will don't come out. And this is where we have to be sincere to learn discussion here. After the initial engagement, then more revelations don't come out. Will not be ever available in the
So now
initial
I'm going to pull the
period.
press release now.
So now we have been processing. You know, I mean, I will take her emphatically. At no one point the commission not ever say we know they investigate. Waiting we consider, if you listen to Director clearly, waiting we consider for be an alleged breach to any of the provisions that they act. Any day it happen, any minute, if it were there so, if this press release says something like with the prevention officers they go, then we come on get compelling evidence. They should say, look, one person already don't use fake degree, and that's his position. You are obliged to take action. So we operate like, I mean, fighting corruption is like in medicine, taking care of sick patient.
Okay.
Now the symptom what you see,
okay,
you the treat.
But I'll go back to Dr. Lai. He has been making it very clear that it only presents a lot of evidence to the commissioner. Even before now, we don't engage the commissioner. They even get back and forth on his Facebook page about this. Dr. Lai, I go and bring this. You don't listen from Blake.
Yeah, because I really want some other things to say against the ACC.
Yes, you can go ahead and then we go to
yes, so that we not go miss them.
Okay.
On this one, that the commissioner is elitist. And we pursue more of low people, as maybe one for put and so. I don't use that word, as against people high places.
Yeah.
I want for submit to me elder brother, Dr. Lina, me elder brother. I want for submit to and say that is contrary to fact. The available fact where they show say the one the more they consider in society. We at the commission or put that aggregation as highly placed people have been most frequently charged to court where we investigate. In fact, the people they consider low people in this country not get much opportunity for being corrupt. So, for example, now the SLMA, the people charged to court, non-pan, not to middle level, now top level management, 2 executive directors succeeding. Yeah, we'll go civil aviation, the people charged to court, they not to small, not to middle level, now management staff. So I want to see the data where somebody go show say anytime where big person name come up on the left hand. But with small person. And the other one on the ACC commissioner not get connection with the poor. Well, that's a social talk. I believe say Dan they self not get any data for proof because he himself came out of poverty. That man has been a refugee out of this country. He went to school through people helping him. I don't know. Till today, now the only commissioner where they don't undertake me the people talk. Where you get footages of that. Interacting with people at that level.
Okay.
And how the police go handle this? Well, this is it. It not mean say because with the question somebody inability for doing job, then another person for can do one. Let's be careful here. The Anti-Corruption Commission not get mandate for investigate any other crime beyond corruption. And these issues what they talk about, forgery implication they did. And we get the Forgery Act 1913, where constitute the police as the institution will get mandate for investigation.
But the SEC get mandate if people you forge something for take a match for use as an advantage. So the SEC pulling itself from this.
No, we have not pulled ourselves. So if we get mandate in this, I will want everybody who are interested in this rate we on we mandate and see if we go slide to a mandate or we go ignore them or we go dodge them, which we are never going to do. And as I conclude on some of the issues we read, it's no counter-attack by way of argument. But let you know clearly say, if the police, they mandate the under question, there is a supervisory entity way for look at that situation, or maybe on moral or legal grounds and decide what thing they happen. If you can form a special tribunal for look at this, SEC not get that locus for go form special tribunal, yeah? Okay. It juxtapose this with what thing happen like Tanzania, which I say do that study. Probably the Anti-Corruption Commission in that country they get that mandate. But here we mandate limited. Even when we give instructions under Section 7. GH and going down I now based on your observations and on this issue of forgive grace period for people
for time
for resign
exactly
or face investigation. Let's first and foremost allow this probe for continue. And this
But
probe
he's saying for being more consistent, you go say, okay, this time to this time.
No, let Dr. I know that in communications, where you know better than me, a press statement is not a report.
Okay.
Well, it's not going to be over-detailed. For example, in the mandates now where the tax force, where the commission gets, commissioner get for given timeline.
Okay.
How many days?
But the institutions themselves are not given timeline.
Now the time now they communicate to them.
Okay.
We're not going to expect for every bit and piece of what you want to do.
Yeah, but that is very important information
it's very
for them.
Important, but let's get that. We haven't got that. Yesterday we issued the instruction to them. The tax force has been constituted. It will have a mandate. The tax force now we own limb for supervise what they happen within the institutions.
Okay.
So that tax force get for relate to them people. All this go come in the updates what they provide for that.
Okay.
And the thing like clear process, I disagree. In this press release, we have stated clearly what we want based on we mandate. And if even the institution have not been one for do this credential verification, we have instructed them to do.
But institution we don't begin even do them before now, even announce.
If they want them to begin do them, we give them thumbs up.
Yeah. So now that they make una something say well, let's come out and tell them what do them.
No. I tell you, the SEC will get over 90% conviction rate in all investigation. What they do now a thorough institution. If not to that, like where he's saying he was this commissioner and the worst commissioner.
One of you don't clarify. Say one of.
Yeah, now a social anthropologist. That's subject to him. But if this is the same commissioner that in 2020 the U.S. recognized as one of the top 10 best anti-corruption crusaders in the world. This is not Africa. And this same Sierra Leone, where we have one of the worst commissioners, don't they pass all the international indexes? I wonder where the argument is premised on.
Okay.
What will not allow ourselves to be used for? Now for do what not to be job.
Okay, let me hear it from Dr. Lai. Dr. Lai, don't hear it from Blake. The commission now ever say they're not going to investigate this. And they're coming out now because they think say not the right time. Do you feel relieved that what you've been asking for the commission, they are there to that now? Then they set up a task force for looking to this and don't mandate institutions them, MDs them for do auditing as well.
Well, to start with, I commend my brother because, he's good at doing damage control. Not till yesterday or 2 weeks ago, I began to talk to the Anti-Corruption Commissioner. This nothing we don't span over a year. Go now, the man in response to me post on Facebook. The man confirmed that, yes, indeed, I contacted him over a year ago. We had discussions and the thing go to beta exchanges. The man did maintain say there was nothing of interest to in commission, right? And if they say, una no get, MB don't insist say there was nothing to investigate about. I've been considering myself a whistleblower, and I came running to him. Right? We started off this discussion at Renaissance Movement. We take it out of there and we continue for talk, and I continue for give evidence. I continue for give the names. I even posted the names of the people they already were, as he said, they are working as civil servants. They already don't graduate. Some of them then get bachelors. I don't think that civil service will take someone a grade of administrative grade, it go take them without degree. And so this man they don't deny all along, said there was nothing to investigate. And I kept on piling pressure and giving more revelation and trying to show the connection between waiting the happen to waiting this one. And they say, okay, una not able to trigger whatever clause una get. How una go know, or how the Anti-Corruption Commission go know if somebody don't confer advantage on himself or using this particular thing, if una not do the investigation. Here is a current case, for instance, of someone, Edward Alpha, who is the chief administrator on Acambia. 2017, in senior colleagues, we are suspended, that is chief administrators, accountants, and we are suspended for allegedly involving themselves inside, where they embezzle, European Union funds. Then promoter within colleagues them to acting capacity as acting, chief administrator. And if you go back, when I go take the report, we title Report on the Verification Exercise of the core staff of local councils in Sierra Leone conducted between the 29th of January and the 17th of February 2020. There it was clearly stated that the only person that was retained after when they resolved the case and the other people then come back to them positions as the position where they get prior to suspension and the demotion of the one who be in acting capacity. Edward Alpha was the only one that was retained. Why? Because he go Dubai, he go get a honorary PhD, and that's wait till I go and tell me that not conferred an advantage. I also been hear instances of someone where just get a bachelor's working in foreign ministry. Now 2 of them, then they overseas now we embassies them. In fact, now then 3 self right now where they overseas now we embassies them. With bachelor's degree, how come they manage get appointment into the civil service if not to the bachelor's degree they use for confer advantage on them? And this is what we are trying to see, with the ACC. The ACC should be a laboratory. Everything where whistleblowers, because this is our fight. It's not just the fight of the commissioner or those employed by the ACC. We all want to see a better country. Everything where they give una do a pilot test. If they give una leads on this, una go there, right? If I don't make it known over a year ago that people then they go buy degree, wait inside the civil service, then they go buy degree, forget for come inside.
Doc, is it not okay? Is it not okay that the commission don't agree for investigate this issue now? Don't you think this is the right move where they don't take, they don't open up and accept, say, okay, then don't ask institutions for investigate, then say they investigate?
Not to the right move. As I tell Kelfala, I don't tell her over a year ago, in lackadaisical attitude, in layback attitude towards this particular issue of fake degree, they already don't make those with fake degrees where they're in the public sector. You don't give them already 2 years. ACC they be in 2 years, then they are ahead of ACC, 2 years. And I will tell you, that was what I was talking on Facebook, that I was reliably informed. Let ACC immediately when they don't begin to do their revelation here. Let them go cushion, the registry department and all the legitimate colleges then as alone. Because people they go there now, they try for good, get in for influence the people within them, their offices, then in our universities and colleges them, for doctor transcripts for them, for let them go make the thing like, okay, then we don't get down there all along, and at this one. And the words of the commissioner actually be empower them, for do that. So the SEC is supposed to be a laboratory where give una information, or anybody give una information, una do a pilot test. If you not fit inside now, but una not go dismiss them publicly, una dismiss them privately, and una turn on, because the SEC turned on me, right? And including Kelfala, the SEC boss, the commissioner, in support as them. Then turn on me instead of me being protected because me a whistleblower. Now the SEC, informally on informal grounds, turn out for begin fet me, turn out for begin oppose me publicly, privately. So that day is very, very, it's very clear. Everybody we don't see them publicly, and the one who in a Renaissance movement go attest to that. That yes, indeed, the anti-corruption commissioner blow off and not tell me what they do.
Quickly, if the SEC asks you for help them with evidence in certain instances or against certain individuals, will you be willing to provide the evidence to them for continued investigation?
The SEC already, the SEC boss, I don't know if they delete in WhatsApp, they don't get some of the information that they over a year, right? I will provide them. I will provide me your information what I get, but the strategy where they use that, because maybe expect the Anti-Corruption Commission for go to Parliament, and tell them, say, okay, this issue don't come, and then particularly don't happen. Wait till we go able to see, because Parliament gets oversight responsibility also. Let us see if at all they go able to create something of some, or they go meet the presidency, they go able to create something to at least empower them for let them go act in a way we not go put, because remember, the office is the way that they ask now so for investigate, say for example, the Human Resource Department or Management Office, the Civil Service. But these are the same office we're responsible for the recruitment and retention of the one day we get fake degree. I expect them for let them really go about for investigate themselves. And what they try for is that the civil state, SEC still trust the institution there, in as much as they are guilty of doing it. And I think this is the wrong method, and therefore it just will be a constraint, because by the end of the day, this ACC, always the ACC do now for set fire people within the ministries, them departments and agencies. Now set fire can follow set fire. This press release just set fire. They no more say okay, we do now verification for ourselves. We go to do how they call ourselves. We go sit down with champagne. They watch on our way, where the microcivil was. Then they brew within MDAs. So I was expecting an independent body. Say, for example, you include ASA, that is the Academic Staff Association of Sierra Leone. When I include, because this therefore do with labor. When I include labor, because I know say when I set up a task force just una normal. No. When I include labor, because this therefore do with employment relations. When I include labor union, when I include the Academic Staff Association, because these are experts, they understand within the psyche, they know exactly if this paper will be legitimate, then go know the roots there on the side, outside, and go pass. But
Okay.
ACC just a treat this one, in the way just, the method is flawed, the approach they take a number for work. Seriously, not get for work. By the end of the day, now enemies then get for happing, enemy thing and get for brood, because we know Sierra Leone is polarized.
What is the seriousness? Where is the seriousness in all of this? Because like they say, these are institutions who employ them people there, where in fact you expect them to do background check before they employ them people there. For the SEC did it, right? The SEC,
We don't do background check. We don't do it.
Exactly. But like he's saying, you're sending this back to institutions where, somebody go imply say don't already employ them people there with allegedly fake certificates, and when they send them back, say when I go investigate same people there. Why the same task force not go do the general work? SEC say, okay, we are coming in, investigating, and come out with a report.
You see, where me elder brother they talk, I don't really learn a lot today. See, no one is an arbiter of knowledge. A lot of gap there in the thing them way they talk. And there
They
is
say
this,
no plenty in them. Is that what you're saying?
in the way SEC for do this work, especially this one year where in getting your way it prefer the SEC they do for doing work. And I want he's vast educated, he's a social anthropologist. Some of us admire him a lot. Let it take time and follow up with the jurisprudence way we don't use for fight corruption in this country. For 22 years, speaking today, not of 2 years, not of 1 month, not of 6 months, not of even 18 years, 22 years. And some of them approach here where they recommend today, or where they insist, not even recommendation, where they demand for the commission for take. They not only fall outside with mandate, they not even the part of the jurisprudence. We not get the locus for do them here. What are we banking on for do some of them here where they say? For example, in don't talk and clearly say ACC for be a lab. We for do diagnosis. When you go to the lab, they ask you for specimen, you provide. You don't tell the lab technician for do test and prove malaria, who say malaria not it. So, I see a whole lot of deliberate attempt by some sector of the public for sure ACC, the evidence, the suspect, the indictment, the count of indictment, the date of indictment, even the procedure for prosecution.
But there are people who, we don't get some of them documents there, we clearly don't show say the institutions that we don't get them from are fake, not accredited institutions.
Lamarana.
Wouldn't you have say you will investigate to ascertain whether they use them at their advantage?
Lama. If even you meet Blake, they lay knife na person throat and cut him. He's not guilty of murder until a competent.
Yeah, we are not saying that is why you should investigate.
And fine. So even when you meet somebody, they cut person throat, you still get for subject to investigation. He used the word very just say these institutions are guilty. So as a professional, I don't know this in my 12th year this. I'm not going to use that kind of diction. No matter what in the magnitude of evidence we are available, they are all alleged until a proper thorough investigation is done. And I can understand the emotion where patriots like Dr. Lahai, they attach to the way they want to fight corruption. But you see this law where they guide we all, it provides strict limitations on how you go manage yourself in carrying out their activity.
Okay.
Like there's this move where they say ACC not a right move. If we don't know what thing don't happen, how we even begin for a portioner? And because somebody has said it, do not mean the police not go investigate.
But
do not mean ACC not investigate.
fail for come out and tell people and say, okay, we are going to investigate.
As for the official statement we come on, But if even you follow all what the director said, we have always said, when we see and except if somebody want to let them disband the CCT there and sack the close to 250 staff.
Okay.
But now we are the professionals for determine.
So I don't see waiting for me to investigate
at this
now.
material moment, there are pointers, and those are the lists we are following. And some of those lists are coming from people like Dr. Lahai. We don't get any one problem with her. And ACC was turned against them and staffed them. I don't know what happened between them personally. But I don't think any member of staff at the commission, like me not even friend with Dr. Lahai, I don't ever remember we talk directly on any social forum. I'm also an elder brother because we all hail from the same area. But I'm one of the spokesperson for the commission. I don't ever think I don't go at them. For goodness sake, I mean, people get their own, commissioner if you get on an argument, whatever, that do not make it the position of the ACC.
Okay.
What he talk na that radio interview? Now the position of
but
the
ACC. The commissioner comments directly to na Facebook page. He did.
And like when they say 2-3 years ago, you don't begin profiling information, yeah. I think one time Intef talk and say the commissioner tell and say now end of 2019 when they amend the act, sir. Now we get jurisdiction over academic malpractice. So the only corruption will be the investigate on the academic institution and the abuse of office, abuse of position.
But that way they use them for your own advantage.
Now we get that jurisdiction in 2019.
At the asset declaration, there's been this other arguments about how people they feel their asset declaration. So if somebody not been doctor, and not been get that honorary degree, where they feel their asset declaration, it puts Dr. Lamarana body. Not to advantage you don't use.
Advantage
adding that
advantage go be if you look at the interpretation part of the act, you go able to quantify an advantage either in financial, material, or emotional terms. So when we reach that bridge, we will able to watch if when they begin call you Dr. Lamarana Ba, what did you benefit from it?
Okay, and you can only do that if you investigate.
Honestly,
okay,
it's not to social media. La end on this. It says institutes trusting these institutions. Sir, it doesn't mean because one public entity don't do a bad job, then that public entity no for exist. When we don't instruct them, so now I want the doctor take note of this.
Okay.
That's why we have the task force again for follow through. If you not instruct them, people here for do this work safe by press release. When you get down to the office, you need the HR internal auditor for help you get them credentials here. All through the 22 years old, the Fed corruption, the jurisprudence, all the institutions here where they call some of them guilty. So now they would write section 57 notices to demanding them for submit information to we.
Okay, well,
so you don't say because they ask them for giving information, they are guilty, then we trust them. No,
we try for round up.
They are mandated to provide the information.
We try for round up now. Dr. Lahai, how long will this continue? I see a lot of people and don't come out to challenge you. The press secretary at State House come out and make some defense for Tuma Jabi when at the board chair na NRA, and the bank governors have come and challenge you on another issue about the effects of this on the people. Balua where the Petroleum Regulatory Agency has well come out and challenge you on this. So how long are you going to sustain this with these challenges coming at you, people are saying some of them are victims and you shouldn't be blaming them or even calling their names on this rather than going after the institutions?
Coming after me not actually mean anything. They just embolden me, right? And before I go answer that, I'll just respond to what my brother say. My brother, they talk about advantage, about the act, about abuse of power, about abuse of office. I believe, say, where you did within the civil service, you're not grade A, for example, you enter with just bachelor, then a year later you come with a master's. The civil service, for instance, now a reward-based institution whereby your qualification they determine your pay scale. If you come with a fake master's, you turned around when you were employed at enough with a bachelor's, automatically you pay the change. It increased a little bit. So then they automatically don't confer another form of advantage. And, based on the way how I think this fight therefore continue and not get for stop, I get for continue for the race this one until the right thing is done. And waiting I go on for tell the commission is that una stop for the read the ACC Act linearly, in the sense that is has to be is, if THE not to IS, una no go consider am. That is linear reading of the law or of the act. But una always not forget say, with the problem or the mischief where this act come for solve, now for fight corruption. You get bribery, you get embezzlement, and you get abuse of office. Somebody don't go bribe for take exam question, then somebody don't sell that exam question day. The ACC was proactive enough for parade den teachers in the country tree, right? Because that was bribery and that is corruption. You student go bribe lecturer, lecturer give you question from WAEC. So if somebody go bribe Mohammed Yamba Bangura by degree 9, and why the ACC, they play, dilly-dally, they don't want to take up the matter.
Finally, Doc, with all this action, you still think, say, people for resign, like people at the NRA, the parliament and all that, so you think, say, them for resign?
Then people here, so their whole position of trust, right? That fake degree syndicate, for example, the Inspector General of Police ought to have known. He don't deny the police more than 20 years. In a sober, civilized, and I will call them, or not use the word is civilized. In countries where institutions are working, not so much man, they work the institution. That man therefore don't tender in resignation, long term, right? The clerk of parliament automatically for don't tender in resignation, long term, including the leader of government business in parliament. Because the leader of government business in parliament, he gets a major responsibility, one for carry through president PO agenda for quality education. But if this leader of government parliament, where they champion that particular free quality education policy in a parliament, make sure say regulations and policies and acts and legislations are adopted for pushing that particular thing, they go by fake degree.
Thank you very much.
The man was supposed for the man supposed to resign. Let them all resign.
Thank you very much.
Jabi with the NRA, because he used state fund for go take fake degree. Then nobody not supposed to tell him. He's supposed to resign, because if you hold position of trust when a moral institution, because it's not just a policy based, it's also a moral thing, because we didn't swear you in for certain position like that. You didn't swear on the Bible, you swear on this. If, for example, you go to court, you go swear on Bible, you go swear on the Quran, then you lie to the judge. Perjury. The judge can send you go jail. But the State House Press Secretary don't say Madam Tuma Jabi not use the honorary doctorate degree for get the job for a reappointment. He has clarified that on your page. He clarified that on my page, but by the end of the day, state funds were involved, right? And whether or not you use it or not, or the spokesman to president don't come out his statement say the reappointment and not submit no other thing. But look at the way how the thing happened. The woman he gets this paper also 2019, 2021. She was reappointed, and the time when you get that paper there, state funds was when they use that state fund for let the woman go get in paper, which was wrong. And come on, this was just when you use money when a taxpayer's money for your self-gratification, that is corruption. That is not need to tell the anti-corruption commissioner, right? So all the this back and forth, then people are supposed to resign. Because
Thank you very much. Dr. Lai, thank you very much. We time don't close on we producer then just say make sign so we say we time done and thanks very much Blake. But waiting at the assurance to the public that I will come out with another report for tell we waiting they happen, because there's been a lot of back and forth. We should do this, we shouldn't do this, and people get trust in the ACC somehow, which is why then been the thing say una for make a statement on this.
And Lama, we hold the trust in high esteem. We see them as a call for responsibility. And we assure the people of Sierra Leone we go measure up to that responsibility. They will not go disappoint them. What is good to note, no matter how clear the evidence they charge to court without proper investigation.
Okay.
So let's get this clear. So all that talk where doctor they talk. Doctor is not a prosecutor.
Okay.
Doctor is not a commissioner. So let doctor allow ACC doing job how the law say. And when he say we for read the law, not read the act linearly. He's not a judge. That's why he's talking like that.
Okay.
When you can follow cases in a court, Lama, not on the law, then they interpret. I mean,
We go follow up on this matter. We go continue with this discussion. But thank you very much, Blake, from the ACC for joining me, and thanks very much to Dr. Lai for joining me via Zoom. This is a discussion where they continue. As I said, one of the most sustained issue we don't happen in recent time. We don't pass 2 weeks. We don't beat the traditional way of how they discuss things, even with the mainstream media and social media. But thanks very much for joining me, and thanks to the production team for putting materials together and support the program. Thanks as well to our viewers them for our support to the program, and continue for watch we and our comments them as well. We appreciate them. Until they return next week, we'll meet back. I'm gonna back. Continue for watch AYV. We are chairman of Renaissance, and Renaissance was considered to be an independent body that advocates for change.
This one they go again to one of the celebrity, goes by the name Rita Dominic. You know, I don't married if you see traditional, you know, and dressing, so you see. But the way we go married with to an Asian woman really, you know.
Okay. Can we spread out a little bit? You guys can zoom actually. Can we spread out a little bit? Are we about to go?
At all, not bad. You know, any guy 4 months job so if the young boy they go and make with them cause smartness and this that, any old power or not married. They don't married though, you don't married. If you see the engagement traditional dressing, if you see there in here do then they go day okay called in then go day then Saga. So many actors they then go there. You want to see the dance. If you watch the video well, you see most of the celebrities, actors there or actors, you see them there, you know. But we watch the man. No, this one again. This one might just give a short one. So we preso the dance. You see how the dance. Then continue song then. I want so you gonna want so the dance. Bio na be dance man go put as president. Stop. No, because it's okay. People them, you know. For be president, you know, is you. For me be leader of the people, you know, is you. All the things that we feel say, you know, be the do together, they do. All the belly big soul, they make that party dance, you know. And they dance sober one, you know. As I be dance so, maybe you dance man together, they will take the put as president, no. So they dance. I know that dance they dance so it's okay. So now it's my we know more this one. I just give una cool I just I call una to paper water. The dance. Quick. So yeah, I know say with the spider with one eye. So now it's no more. 2023 man we no more. If una dey see me na again, I go know. Watch the way they dance, but see you the dance. They spy all you and they are so we say belly big so. Anyway, watch out. if you not sabi lie, you dey lie. You go lie oh. So we president and expert there now. They sabi cut here, put here. Anything you ask them, they get the answer for you. So you see. So now the video